Welcome back. Greta Thunberg is teaching kids about climate change. Students in New South Wales were encouraged to study the activist's speeches as part of a lesson plan, which has since been removed from the Education Department's website.
All right, let's get today's take on this with Shelley Horton from 9honey.com.au and comedian Vince Sorrenti. Shelley, to you first. The lesson plan asked students to watch Greta's speech to learn her communication strategies and conduct an energy audit of their own school and outline what they needed to change. It's like an experiment thing. And see how she speaks as opposed to some old white guy from the 60s speak. Do you have a problem with this?
I have no problem with this at all. I think it's brilliant that we're getting our young people to actually analyse what's going on, to try and dissect it. I think it's important that they look at the science and learn from an early age that there are debates about these topics, and so they're going to have to make their own mind up and see which side they are going to fall on, because you know what, it's these young people who are actually going to make a change when it comes to climate change. But I did love that the 10-year-old boy who had done the Greta assignment said that he really related to her rather than someone really old who was like 20 or something.
20 or something.
Wow, how my back hurts with that.
I'm
that
really
slight.
old then.
Yeah.
You know, it's great to get them thinking, Vince, but an education researcher said teachers should use scientists rather than activists when teaching about climate change. Do you agree?
No, I think it's good that Greta's being studied like this, and they want to cancel her. How dare you? You know? She's a young person. She's communicated her ideas to the entire world, so there's obviously skills to be studied there, and that's what the kids are studying too. Look, they're obviously not taking that much interest in her advice, otherwise they wouldn't be at school.
Yeah,
So you're saying, yeah.
They wouldn't be at school.
They'd be out. Yeah, they'd be protesting. Yeah, OK. Well, look, let's move on to the next topic. We are still waiting for Daniel Andrews to do a press conference, but making news this morning, business travellers from Singapore, Japan and Hong Kong, South Korea, they could be given special quarantine exemptions under a secret plan to boost tourism. Now, there's a proposal to slash the amount of time corporate overseas travellers have to quarantine from 2 weeks to 7 days. Now, Vince, the Premier of New South Wales, Gladys Berejiklian, thinks the plan is premature and could jeopardise the health of Australians. But morally speaking, when we first said this morning, Belinda's like, oh, is that because there's more room
in business?
In business? But it's not. It's just because they've got more money.
Yeah, true. Look, I have to agree with the Premier on this. I think it is a little bit soon. I mean, the main reason we flattened the curve was that we had this border control and 2 weeks of quarantine, and that's really the big risk too in a second wave.
Quarantine shouldn't be a class structure either, right?
No, absolutely not. No, I think these business people have to abide by the rules just like everyone else. I mean, I know it's a pain in the backside. I mean, if you're selling cardigans or something in China, you've got to fly all the way over there, spend 2 weeks in quarantine, have your meeting, fly all the way back, spend another 2 weeks in quarantine here, and the guy says, oh, you got any other colours? I'll see you in a month. You know,
Yeah, I mean, Shelley, what do you think? Should business travellers be treated any differently to us regular tourists?
I actually think they should be treated differently because they are.
Did you say should
very,
or
very,
shouldn't?
Should. They should. And here's why. It's very, very controlled, where they're not off backpacking, they're not off going to a festival. They are going to a business event where it's registered, where they are is very controlled. They can have these business events that have social distancing. I mean, I think there's a fair level of control you can imply and impose on business travel that you can't on just regular travel. So I do think that it should be different, and I think that we've got to get our economy moving.
We can't control their social life. They may
but also on those
have
planes,
sneak out for a quick bevy while they're there. We can't control what they're doing privately.
And also on planes, those germs are going to go everywhere.
I went to a restaurant last weekend and I had to write down my name, my address and my phone number in case anything could happen and they had to trace back. I already have the COVID app. So I actually think that this would be a case of so many people in business would be willing to sacrifice going out for a few bevies if they know that they can get their business moving again.
All right, Shelley and Vince, stay with us. When we come back, do those 5-star reviews suck you in? The expert warning for consumers to ignore online ratings.
And how spoilt are your furry friends? See the pampered pooches dining like royals. Look at them there.
It's all so cute. Online reviews can be a great way to get feedback from customers about a service you're looking to use, but can they really be trusted?
Apparently not, you see. It turns out 50% of all 5-star reviews are fake, with many businesses writing them themselves or bribing others to write something positive. Shelley and Vince are still here to discuss this. Shelley, I mean, they could do that with 1-star reviews too, I guess. So does a review influence how you go out and buy or eat?
It absolutely does influence me, and I'm really surprised that there are so many fake reviews. I think that sure, there could be some that are written by the company, but not lots and lots and lots. And then I'm sure that there could be 0 or 1-star reviews by the opposition.
That's right.
But you know what? I've also have a little bit of faith because I've got friends of the family who have retired, and their favourite thing to do is to get on TripAdvisor and put a very detailed review of everything that was in the room and all that sort of stuff. And so I love those kind of reviews. It gives me a lot of information.
Okay, Vince, do you trust them, these online reviews?
No, but I love them. I reckon they're almost all fake, but they are very entertaining to read. I always love reading the negative reviews because they're invariably written by tight asses, wankers,
Yes.
and complete idiots. You know, like, oh, there wasn't enough chocolate powder on my cappuccino. I read one once where the guy was complaining about the size of the microwave in the wardrobe. I said, mate, that's a mini safe, you idiot.
Also, it doesn't heat any food.
Yeah. But they can also be quite damaging to the businesses, Vince.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I have written good and bad reviews, and the bad review I wrote about a hotel in Rome one time, the guy did us such a nasty service. I had to write something about it, but the guy became so vindictive.
Ooh.
I mean, it was. Yeah, I kind of stopped. I don't like writing reviews, to be frank.
Oh, okay. Well, look,
Because
a
of
dog
backlash.
lover has spent more than $65,000 in designer clothes for her pampered chihuahuas and says she doesn't regret one single penny. Romeo and Bichon have a wardrobe full of cashmere jumpers and dine on steak every day and only drink sparkling water, Vincent, because the dogs refuse to drink tap water. Why would anybody drink tap water?
Outright. What about the diet? Are they going to get any fibre? I mean, just steak and mineral water? I mean, call the RSPCA someone. I mean, these dogs. Look, I love dogs, and they remind me a lot of my old dog too, but some people do get carried away. If you've got the money, yeah, do whatever you like. Are these dogs voting in the election? I mean...
They might as well be. I don't know what was that Priscilla, the Queen of the
What
Desert
was that
outfit
one
was
about?
before. Yeah.
I mean, Shelley, we've had a few extra
Oh,
great guests
Shell.
join.
Look,
who have we
I've got the
got?
fur kids with me with their matching jumpers. I think there's nothing wrong than spoiling your fur kids, and if you've got the money, go for it. Mind you, I mean, we bought these jumpers for the kids yesterday, and they were only $30 each. And
What's the most outrageous thing you've spent or bought for them?
I think it was a painting of them, but I love it, and I love
yeah.
seeing it.
Yeah.
So, all of that sort of stuff. And obviously, I'm not a good enough stage mum because these guys are not performing and giving
Doing it
smiles.
great. Oh, there
There
we
you
go.
go.
Smile.
Yeah. I
Well,
mean,
I
have you
know.
spent much on Bailey?
I think it's the grooming. I mean, I
Yeah.
spend more on his grooming probably on my grooming.
Yeah.
So
Let us know what's the most expensive thing you're spending on your little fur baby. Let us know. Vince and Shelley, and obviously the two beautiful dogs there.
Bye, puppies.
Bye.
See you guys. See you next week. Coming up on Today Extra, talking.